The Brothers of Darkness by Pellarne Assi. As their name suggests, the Dark Brotherhood has a history shrouded in obfuscation. Their ways are secret to those who are not themselves brothers of the Order. Brother is a generic term. Some of their deadliest assassins are female, but they often called brothers as well. How they continue to exist in shadow, but be easily found by those desperate enough to pay for their services, is not the least of the mysteries surrounding them. The Dark Brotherhood sprang from religious order, the Moroctong, during the Second Era. The Moroctong were worshippers of the Diadra spirit, Mephala, who encouraged them to commit ritual murders. In their early years, they were as disorganized as an obscure cultist could be. There was no one to lead the band, and as a group they did not murder anybody of any importance. And this changed with the rise of the Night Mother. All leaders of the Moroctong and then afterward the Dark Brotherhood have been called the Night Mother. Whether the same woman, if it is even a woman, has commanded the Dark Brotherhood since the Second Era is unknown. What is believed is that the original Night Mother developed an important doctrine of the Moroctong, the belief that while Mephala does grow stronger with every murder committed in her name, certain murders were better than others. Murders that came from hate pleased Mephala more than murders committed because of greed. Murders of great men and women pleased Mephala more than murders of relative unknowns. We can approximate the time this belief was adopted, with the first known murder committed by the Moroctong. In the year 324, the Second Era, the potentate Vesidushae was murdered in his palace in what is today the elsewhere kingdom of the Sanchal. In a brash move, the Night Mother announced the identity of the murderers by painting Moroctong on the walls in the potentate's own blood. Previous to that, the Moroctong existed in relative peace, more or less like a witch's coven, occasionally persecuted but usually ignored. In remarkable synchronicity at a time when Tamriel, the arena, was a fractured land, the Moroctong was outlawed throughout the continent. Every sovereign gave the cult's elimination his highest priority. Nothing more was officially heard of them for 100 years. It is more difficult to date the era when the Moroctong re-emerges the Dark Brotherhood, especially as other guilds of assassins have sporadically appeared throughout the history of Tamriel. The first mention of the Dark Brotherhood that I found is from the journals of the Blood Queen, Arla Mahera of Hagath. She spoke of slaying her enemies by her own hand, or, if necessary, with the help of the Night Mother and her Dark Brotherhood, a secret arsenal my family has employed since my grandfather's time. Arla Mahera wrote this in 412, so one can surmise that the Dark Brotherhood had been in existence since at least 360, if her grandfather had truly made use of them. The important distinction between the Dark Brotherhood and the Moroctong was that the Brotherhood was a business as much as it was a cult. Rulers and of the merchants used the order as an assassin's guild. The Brotherhood gained the obvious rewards of a profitable enterprise, as well as the secondary benefit that rulers could no longer actively persecute them if they were needed. They were purveyors of the essential commodity. Even an extremely virtuous leader would be unwise to mistreat the Brotherhood. Not long after Ali Maher's journal entry came perhaps the most famous series of executions in the history of the Dark Brotherhood. The Kolovan Emperor, Potentate, Severian Chorak, and every one of his heirs were murdered on one bloody night in Sun's Dawn in 430. Within a fortnight, the Kolovan dynasty crumbled to the delight of its enemies. For over 400 years until the advent of the War Emperor, Tiber Septim chaos resigned over Tamriel. Though no comparably impressive execution have been recorded, the Brotherhood must have grown fat with gold during the interregnum. The Dark Brotherhood has no shortage of business opportunities, and accounting, I have been informed, is the Brotherhood's favorite euphemism for an execution. While they are officially considered an unlawful organization in every corner of the empire like the Thieves' Guild, they are almost universally tolerated.